Up in the incredible landscape of Gilgit-Baltistan, there is one judicial body that stands above every other. It has the final word on law and justice for the whole region. So today, we're going to do a deep dive into the Supreme Appellate Court of Gilgit-Baltistan and really figure out why it's so important.
So let's just get right to it. When there are legal battles and decisions get challenged, who actually gets the final say? What is the single most powerful court in all of Gilgit-Baltistan?
Well, the answer, of course, lies with the region's highest court.
And that is the Supreme Appellate Court of Gilgit-Baltistan. Now, as the highest court of appeal, what it says goes. Its decisions are absolutely final. It is the last word on any legal dispute in the entire region.
But to really get a sense of its power, check this out. The court's jurisdiction is considered equal to the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just some local body. We're talking about an institution that wields supreme judicial power within its territory. So how does a court with this much clout actually operate? Well, its authority really comes down to three different kinds of jurisdiction, and each one defines a key piece of its role.
We're talking about its original, review, and advisory jurisdictions. Each one has a unique and absolutely critical function, so you know what? Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got original jurisdiction. This is a really powerful tool. It lets the court hear some cases directly, completely bypassing the lower courts. But here's the catch. It can only do that when a fundamental right is at risk, on a really big issue of public importance. So, in effect, the court becomes a direct guardian of the people's most basic freedoms.
Next is review jurisdiction, and this one is pretty fascinating. This is the court's power to look back and re-examine its own past decisions. It's kind of like a built-in mechanism for self-correction. It makes sure that justice can evolve and that even the highest court in the land is held accountable.
And finally, there's advisory jurisdiction. This basically turns the court into a kind of legal sage for the government. You know, if the prime minister or the governor runs into a super complex legal question that's important to the public, they can just ask the court for its official opinion. They get to tap into the highest legal expertise in the whole region.
All right, so we've covered the what the court does. But now let's talk about the who. Who are the people making these huge decisions? Who actually sits on the bench of the Supreme Appellate Court?
You might think an institution this important would be huge, right? Well, you might be surprised. The entire court is made up of just 3 members. That's it.
And the structure is super simple and clear. It's led by one Chief Justice, and then you have 2 other judges who sit alongside them. And to put a name to that top job, the current Chief Justice is Sardar Muhammad Shamim Khan. He was appointed to the position back in 2022, bringing us right up to today.
Of course, an institution this important doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. To really understand the role it plays today, we've got to look at its history. And it's a story that kind of mirrors the evolution of the whole region.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit. The court's journey actually kicked off in 2005, but it had a different name back then. The real game changer, though, came in 2009. That's when a new order not only re-established the court, but gave it its most important power, that jurisdiction equal to Pakistan's Supreme Court. That was the moment it truly became the powerhouse it is today.
So, we've looked at its powers, the people on the bench, and how it all came to be. Let's pull it all together. Why does this one court matter so much?
At the end of the day, you can think of the court as the keystone holding up the entire arch of justice in Gilgit-Baltistan. It's the final authority on the law, which provides stability. It's the guardian of our fundamental rights, which protects the people. And it guides the government with its legal know-how. Each of these roles is absolutely essential, and together they make it an essential pillar of the region's self-governance. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. When you place so much responsibility, we're talking the law, fundamental rights, the very stability of the government, on the shoulders of just 3 people, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does any court truly manage to uphold the rights of an entire region?